Hello. This should work. This should work now. Everything's up. We're back in the safety of StreamYard. Oh, doesn't it feel nice? It feels like home, right? All bundled up in a nice cozy blanket because it actually works and things are functional. And I don't know. It's just nice to be back here. Anyway, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Rickcast. I am Rick. This has been fun, but no more Rumble. I know I've said it twice. Guys, I'm sorry. The appeal of trying to get into the Rumble Creator Program and doing all of that, I just felt the juice was worth the squeeze on it, to be completely honest with you. And I guess not. I guess it just wasn't because it just didn't work. And so Rumble is going to be Rumble, and I'm sorry to say that, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's keep moving on here, ladies and gentlemen. So, what did we talk about? We were talking about election security. I don't even know, considering. Yeah, it is. It's just so nice. It's just so nice to be back in the warm bosom of StreamYard. And we're here. So, let's get to it. Somebody want to remind me what I was talking about? Because there was a lot of stuff. We had just talked about election security and the fact that this was an idea to try and get to a campaign promise, right? A campaign promise Trump was talking about. We're going to secure the elections. And yes, part of this is a good idea at the federal level because there's some federal stuff, but at the same time, there's some state stuff that you have to look at. And I don't know how much he's going to be able to do. Right? I don't know how much he's going to be able to do. And the question is, do you want him to do a lot? Because the idea is if he does too much, then, I mean, look at this. This is such a sweet setup too. I like how my whole setup was. Look at that. Boom. There's the fact sheet on the integrity of American elections. And this is what they were put out to try and say this is what they want to do with this EO. Election Assistance Commission will require documentary government-issued proof of U.S. citizenship on its voter registration forms. That is not driver's license, right? Because in Minnesota and in California and in New York, all of these places are giving away driver's license to illegals. They're giving them away. Just here you go. Here's some stuff, and it's great. But the idea behind it is it has to be a government-issued ID, not a state-issued ID. That's fine. How's it going to affect people like us in Texas where we don't really have these problems? Are we going to have to do it? By the way, thank you for everybody on YouTube. My one Twitch guy, I love you. You've gone with me on 2 different streams right now. I don't even know what to tell you. Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna get bogged down in court like everything else, like every other thing that Trump has tried to do. They're gonna put it in some kind of court in, I don't know, pick your Oregon or some Democratic area where they get a Democrat friendly judge, and they're gonna go from there. So we'll see how that is. But yes, it's going to be combative. It's definitely going to be combative in that regard, simply because that's what the left does. That's the only method. That's the only thing that they have. It's the only thing that they have is to fight back, is with the courts. What else does it say? Federal election-related funds will be conditioned on state complying with the integrity measures set forth by federal law, including the requirement that states use national mail voting registration forms that will now require proof of citizenship. I don't know how much I trust that, simply because the Postal Service is not exactly a bastion of conservative causes. It just isn't. I mean, we're not lying here. This is something that is a fact. And let's see, one more. The order will improve the integrity of elections by directing and updating voluntary voting system guidelines 2.0 and securing standards for voting equipment and prioritizing federal grants accordingly. That's really the only thing that the Trump administration has, is the federal purse. Now, a lot of us don't like the federal purse simply because It's one of these things that I don't like that the government has. I don't know if you like that either, because seriously, the whole thing behind it is government is abusing the states by allowing it. Just by allowing it. It's very I don't know. What do you guys think about that? The idea that the government is using its abilities to get these purse strings pulled, which is a weird way to say it, to make people do what they want. I'll tell you this much. I don't like it. And I know a lot of you agree. We don't like it when the federal government uses these purse strings against the states for conservative things. Should we just push away the principles and say, forget it? We do it when we're in power to get our agenda passed. It has been going on for it's a standard practice on both sides. You're right. So why should we not do it? Right? Why should we not do it when it's done to us? I think right now a lot of conservatives just don't care. And they're like, I don't care because it happens to us. So let's do it to the enemy. Let's do it to the enemy because they do it to us. And I'm tired of being pushed around by AOC and Bernie Sanders and all these other people. And they just don't want to deal with it. Okay. I get it. I do understand the frustration with it. So we have that, and that's what it's looking like. If they aren't going to solve problems, might as well play their game. You know, we're kind of in that tyranny of, hey, you guys beat us up, we're going to beat you up, and may the last team standing win. You know, do we like it? Probably not. It's probably not great. Is it something that is unfortunately a development of modern politics? The founders, do you think our founders would have really liked this whole thing being done this way? No, but then again, the founders would have never envisioned anything like this. So it is mutually assured destruction. That's 100% correct. That is 100% correct in that regard. So it is what it is in that regard. I like that's good calls on all sides here. So yeah, that's the EO on election security, and we will move on here on a revamped Rickcast. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. If you're here, I don't know, you're like an investor in this. I don't even know what to tell you. It is beyond mind blowing that you guys are still here hanging out with me. And I love you. I love you so much. So let's move on to our next topic. When President Hot Wheels. Listen, I think I made my point pretty well on that. They're going after her today. So is that thing turned back on? Everything is messed up. This thing was off for like 10 minutes. My little light. We got to put it in purple because it's Lent. And somebody asked about my little statue. Is Mendez still here? Mendez, are you still here? Let me know. Holler at me if you're still here. I mean, the stream is completely off the rails. We might as well just do it however we want to. So I know Lou and Mendez were making fun of my my Memento Mori skull and my baby infant of Prague. When I was setting up the background, I was ordering these things, and I didn't want to get like a huge statue that wasn't going to be able to fit on I wanted to have an infant of Prague, right? Baby infant of Prague right here. Beautiful. Love them. And I didn't want to get a huge one and have this ginormous thing. But now I know I can get like a 6-inch statue. I'm going to get a bigger one. But for now, he's there. So that's why it looks kind of weird. This whole thing is going to, you know what? Just for that, I'm going to go to Burger King and get one of the crowns and find a way to put it here. So yeah, that actually right here This is from the Catholic Pipe Company. So if you can see this, he actually did this for me back when I was the armed Catholic. So, oh, the light went back off. That I should have just left it alone. So he actually, the Catholic Pipe Company, shout out to the Catholic Pipe Company. He actually designs, he custom makes pipes, and he'll call you and you give him a design and he'll walk you through it and he'll give you different ideas. This thing is amazing. I haven't actually smoked out of this pipe yet because when I brought it to North Carolina, when I went to the North Carolina one, the North Carolina conference, I forgot my pipe weed. it's all in my cigar box. But yeah, this thing is awesome. And it's an antique now because I'm the armed papist. I'm not even the armed Catholic anymore. Yes, that's what that is. Yeah, that dude is super talented, and I'm very happy for him because he went full time on making pipes because he's so talented at it. And we, as Catholics, we got to support other Catholics. That's like one of my big things. If you're a Catholic and you have a business, I feel like it's almost an obligation for you to promote and help other Catholics do well. I know people don't like it when I say stuff like that, but as long as the person's not promoting heresy, you need to be supporting other Catholics out there. So I love it. If there's any Catholic businesses out there that would like to advertise to 39 people that are currently watching, I did leave it with Merry and Pippin. I did. Those hobbits. Filthy hobbits while they were feasting and smoking. So yes, Steve's awesome at it. Steve's got a much bigger platform, so I understand why people want Steve to advertise his stuff because the guy's one of the hardest working men in Catholic business. So yes, that's the story why I have the stuff on the shelves are kind of out of whack because this is a work in progress here. So I will get a better Infant of Prague. I do like my chalkboard where I can put little messages up there. We'll talk about not my Avengers in the last segment of the program because they're not my Avengers and they shouldn't be yours either because Disney sucks. By the way, watched another 2 episodes of Daredevil last night. Rick Reviews, if you want to watch my review on that. I don't know. It's just god awful. It's just terrible. It is just awful stuff. It really is. I can't even handle how bad it is. So if you want to hear my review on how they destroyed the Daredevil show, check it out on Rick's Reviews. But yes, a little bit of background on the background. So, all right, let's move on to our next story here. So the Daily Wire is collapsing. The Daily Wire is collapsing. And I told you this. Everybody else in conservative media said, oh, well, it's great that Jeremy's, he's leaving. And I think the Daily Wire is going to be fine because, they got a good foundation. Hogwash, I say. 100% hogwash. See how more confident I am here on StreamYard? Because StreamYard is it's the best and I love it. Love StreamYard. Want to love you, Rumble, but you're kind of flaky. You're like the flaky chick that doesn't call me back. Little flaky. Anyway, I'm not trying to throw shade at Rumble. I think Rumble's great, but you guys kind of let me down way too many times in a row. So moving on. What was I talking about? Oh, the Daily Wire. Sorry. Daily Wire is collapsing. I told you it was collapsing. Yeah, you could see the writing on the wall. Ironically enough, when Jeremy Boring got fired, because let's say what he is, he got fired. He didn't leave. CEOs don't just leave companies. He got fired. He got fired the exact 1 year after Candace Owens left. Okay. For a while, it looked like they were doing well. They were the foundation of alternative conservative media. Like the Blaze tried to do that, but then they said, forget it. We're just going to kind of be that Fox alternative online, right? The Glenn Beck crowd. And listen, they do good stuff. I watch Fearless every day. I love Jason Whitlock's show. I will tell you, I love watching Jason Whitlock's show. I don't watch anything else on the Blaze. Can't stand it. but they have their niche and they do fine. But the Daily Wire's big thing was they were the fastest growing podcast and they were reaching millennials, and they had a smart strategy because they had Ben Shapiro go out and dunk on a bunch of college students, and it made Ben look almost like a superhero in regards to dealing with leftists or dealing with leftist arguments. And who was saying it? Actually, I watched a clip on Patrick Bet David's show, which that's a dude I don't like a lot either, but he made a little bit of sense here. It was a big deal when Shapiro was doing it because it was at a time when it wasn't, I don't want to say cool, but it was still kind of uncouth, we can say, to be a conservative. It was still very much like, oh, well, your arguments are terrible and you don't want to be a conservative. What happens to all this? So we liked watching Ben Shapiro go to these places and dunking on liberal arguments. It made us feel better, right? Facts don't care about your feelings, blah, 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 blah. However, Tim Pool shows up. Jeremy from the Quartering's around. Patrick Bet David, even, who I don't like, but he shows up. There's a bunch of other conservative outlets that show up. There's a bunch of conservative libertarian outlets that catch up. They kind of see the way things go. And all of a sudden, the Daily Wire they turned into Blockbuster. And that's the only way I can say this. The Daily Wire turned into Blockbuster because they didn't adapt and they kept spending money. They brought in Jordan Peterson. I guarantee you there was way too much money to bring him in. He was a free agent. He's like a free agent, if baseball terms. I'm starting to get back into baseball. My wife and I are talking about going to a Rangers game up in DFW sometime this year because we love baseball. We really do. This is a baseball household. But bringing Jordan Peterson onto the Daily Wire is like spending most of your cap space on a really good setup man. A lot of you will get that. The setup man's great, but he doesn't make your team that much better. It is if you're in a close game, you pay a lot of money for a setup guy. Okay, we can close games out. But if you have a terrible pitching staff, or if your pitching staff is getting old, or your lineup sucks, then having a really expensive setup man doesn't do much. Jordan Peterson is an expensive setup man. Really great to have if your team is good. I will let you know, my friend. Yes. Yes, I was going to get to the next point. That's fantastic. That's the first part. They spend too much money. There's three things. First thing, they spend too much money on shiny things like Jordan Peterson. The second thing is that they went anti-Trump in 2016. And they went anti-Trump and they were Ben Shapiro was on back when National Review was a big deal, the case against Trump. There was a big article back in 2016, National Review, the case against Trump. I think we can find that real quick. Here it is, right? And Shapiro's name is on this. Of course, that resolution sucks. He's one of the editors that was on this thing. I can't get a picture of it. Like there's not one. Oh golly. Anyway, let me see if I could just find him. A lot of these people, like Dana Lausch, St. Dana Lausch, she was on there. I know he was on there somewhere. Right? I mean, I'm not usually wrong on these things, but I guess he wasn't. I could have sworn he was. Glenn Beck was. Sorry, I'm confusing him and Glenn Beck. Still, Shapiro was not a huge. I'm not going to show it because I'm wrong. One of the few times. Oh, you could see it. But the fact is, they went against Trump in 2016. Then they kind of backpedaled and said, Trump's doing fine, but we have to be careful about him. They bailed on him in 2020 as soon as the election was over. And then they did Ben Shapiro did the George Floyd thing where he threw the officer, whose name escapes me right now because my brain's going 1,000 miles a minute, Derek Chauvin, who we'll get to in a second. They threw Chauvin under the bus, and they, what happened in 2020 with the cough, cough, gee, Ben Shapiro told you you needed to get the vax, you needed to do this, or you weren't a conservative, or whatever the case may be. Then they backed DeSantis in 2024. Nikki Haley, anybody but Trump. And only after Trump won, and he won with the mandate that he did win with, did the Daily Wire come around and they're like, oh yeah, Trump is great and Trump helps Israel, blah, 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 and all these other kinds of things. So they've had a record of going against what the populist movement was. They bet against the populist movement. Like I'm saying, the best comparison you can make to the Daily Wire right now is Blockbuster. That's who they were. That's who they are. They were an innovator, and then they didn't adapt. They did not adapt to market trends. So they didn't go with the populist movement. And then finally, what was my third point? Oh, the fact that I'm going to say they tried too hard. Jeremy Boring's a theater kid. A lot of the people, Bent Key Productions and all that stuff, they made outside of Matt Walsh's things, which is why Matt Walsh will be the next to go, and I'll address that in a second. Outside of Matt Walsh's documentaries, they made like 2 other mainstream movies that nobody watched. There was the one with Gina Carano, the Western, although there was 3. There was the girl boss school shooting one, which everybody was like, well, this is just a feminist movie in conservative clothing. Then they had the Western, which was a girl boss movie in conservative clothing. Then they had the trans basketball one or whatever, and nobody went to see that. Abysmal. There's a lot of money. The Daily Wire is not Disney. The Daily Wire is not Universal. They can't sink the amount of money that they sunk into these productions, which they don't reveal because it's a private company, and lose the amount of money that they're losing and continue to do well. Subscriptions are only going to get you so far. Selling expensive chocolates with the name of the quote unquote God King on Jeremy's razors and Jeremy's chocolate. Jeremy Boring was a detriment to the Daily Wire. Nobody signed up to the Daily Wire for Jeremy Boring, and Jeremy Boring insisted in putting himself at the front of this thing time after time after time. And then he got into it with Candace Owens, who was probably arguably, she brought in a segment that they desperately needed, which was women or thirsty dudes, whichever one you want to say. I mean, come on. Of course the chocolate's crap. It was going to be the cheapest thing possible to maximize profits. But he gets into a fight with Candace Owens. She leaves. Okay, I guess that's fine. Free agents leave. They come and go. We see this in news all the time, right? Commentators will go from Fox to CNN, CNN to Fox, or from Fox to One American News. That happens. People move around. That didn't shock everybody. But the second one, and the one that really started this whole thing, I think they could have survived. Brett Cooper leaving was the end of the Daily Wire. That's what people will say in the long run. Brett Cooper leaving the Daily Wire was the end of the that was the end of the Daily Wire. It was. It's that simple, because she brought in a segment that everybody desperately wanted, that young Gen Z crowd that, I don't know, they just could not replicate. They tried to do it with her friend, and that thing was it was an absolute disgrace. And I feel bad for that girl because she was going to go with Brett, but she got more money and a chance to host a show. I don't begrudge that girl for taking that chance. I don't. Because if somebody gave you that chance, would you take it? I think I would. I think I would as well. And so what else was she supposed to do? But she was under bad management because Jeremy Boring thought he could just plug and play with different people. And who knows? That's all of these things come together to make it a bad experience. And the Daily Wire could not adapt. They doubled down, and finally, we all watched it when it happened with the pardon Chauvin. They ran Ben Shapiro out there. Their main pillar, I guess we'll call him, the person that kind of started it with his conservative tours, and say, "Oh, we're gonna pardon Derek Chauvin. We're gonna pardon Derek Chauvin." And everybody went, "What the hell are you talking about? Pardon Derek Chauvin? Why are you doing this now?" And that was it. People were just going, this is an email list. You guys are failing. Jeremy Boring's out. That was the last straw. And from what I'm hearing and from what this thing is saying, it's financial mismanagement, which is funny because everybody came out when this initially happened and said, oh, the Daily Wire was $1 billion. The Daily Wire is fine. Don't worry about the Daily Wire. Everything's great. And what did I say? That was crap. That was absolute crap. Companies evaluate or give themselves valuations all the time, and they're never there. Enron, right? I'm not saying the Daily Wire is Enron, but companies overvalue themselves constantly. And so they were just faltering and stumbling. And despite Matt Walsh's success at the theater, they just couldn't handle it. So Jeremy Boring leaves in a memo. And he's like, don't worry, I'm just moving to creatives. I'm not telling you what I'm creating, but I'm just moving there. And I'm going to host this show that nobody watches backstage at the Daily Wire. Who the hell is going to watch that? Oh, it's Jeremy Boring show. Nobody signed up for Jeremy Boring. Sorry. And this is the problem that the Daily Wire ran into as well. And I said this before, when Jeremy Boring left. The tentfold productions, like a Daily Wire, like a Blaze, like a whatever, where you have one group and then you have a list of people you can watch all day. Rumble has completely destroyed that with their lineup, right? They have a lineup. They have 8 or 9 people that are not related to each other. They have their own channels, but they put them in one lineup, which I'd love to be a part of late night, by the way. But this whole thing is a management class in how quickly the market shifts. Just how quickly the market shifts. And the Daily Wire could not keep up. They could not keep up, and that's why they are spending money they don't have. And now the president of the Daily Wire is stepping down, and it's a sinking ship. And I said, Matt Walsh is the next to go. And somebody on X last night, and I don't want to put him on blast because I understand what they were saying. Look, Matt Walsh has all the leverage and he'll never leave the Daily Wire. Now, but here's my retort to that person. Like I said, I'm not throwing them under the bus. I don't do well typing stuff up. I'm better in long form, obviously. And that's what they're saying. They can't lose Walsh. They can't lose Walsh. They can't lose Walsh. No. Yes and no. They couldn't afford to lose Brett Cooper. It's already done. The Titanic has been hit. All right. The gash is in the side of the boat. Now are you going to be one of the first ones off the boat? Are you going to leave the Titanic, or are you going to stay on and be with the violins? Right? Are you going to be a violin and go down? Obviously, because Ben Shapiro has a stake in the company, he's not leaving. He's not leaving. But everybody else, if you're Matt Walsh, take a look at this. Ben Shapiro has 7.23 million subscribers. Look at his videos. 156,000 views. 13,000 views, 85,000 views, 30,000. That's a day. That's one day ago. 30,000, 28,000, 156,000. He's not even breaking 200,000. Well, here, 225,000, because he talked about AOC, right? 191, 34. 34 for Rick Barrett is amazing. 34 for a guy who has 7.1 million subscribers is atrocious. And so he is not what he once was. And the fact is, Matt Walsh needs to go. Not like he needs to be fired. He needs to see the writing on the wall, and it's about reputation at this point. He only has 3.8. He has 4 million subscribers less than Shapiro. Yet his 19,000, 34,000, 89,000, 195,000, 118,000, 268,000. He's breaking over 100,000, 347,000. He is in much better shape than Shapiro. I don't know. There's a really big thing about bots on YouTube, which is why the big indicator now on the streaming platforms is live viewers and comments, which, by the way, you guys hitting the comments and doing the comments thing is really helpful. but the views are not he has more views. His views are better than Shapiro's. He has the leverage and he's going to leave. He's going to leave within 6 months. He has to. They can give him money, but it's about integrity as an artist at this point. He's not going to have a problem raising funds for documentaries. That's his passion. His takes on pop culture are trash. Let's be real. A lot of them are not very good. And he comes off as kind of an elitist, but whatever. You do you, man. I don't really care. But he is a great filmmaker. He is a great, and you can tell that's where his passion is. That's what he wants to do. He's going to leave. He's going to start a documentary company, and he can live a great life for, just putting out a couple documentaries, having a YouTube channel, talking about those things. He can be whatever. Yeah, like Walsh, when he steps into the hot takes, he's bad at it. He's really bad at it. Because he's kind of a troll, and that's fine. If you want to be a troll, be a troll. I don't really care. I'm not gonna be like, I can't believe he did that. But the fact is, stick to the documentaries, stick to the filmmaking, do what you need to do in that regard. Don't worry about any of this other stuff. So the Daily Wire is collapsing. I'm telling you, it's March. He'll be gone by the fall. I think he will be gone by the fall. I just think he has to. There's for integrity as an artist, he has to. The only thing the Daily Wire gives him right now is funding for documentaries. And if they're in financial ruin, then they can't give him money for documentaries. Ergo, they give him no reason to be there. This is what it is, man. This is what it is. All right, this is Rickcast in the warm bosom of StreamYard. And look how much fun we're having. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. We can just talk all day, hit these buttons, and they work, and it's great. And, maybe Matt Walsh will have to go into the Daily Wire office, and it's just going to come down to this.
Daddy, someone set a fire in your car because you took too long, and I got bored. Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh, my bad. No problem.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I'll just destroy this office.
Oh, hey!
Money, please! Money, please.
Ben, give her some money. It's easier.
That's going to be the negotiations with Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire. Just money, please. And they're going to go, we don't have any money. He's not going to destroy the office. But at the same time, he's just going to be like, I need money. I need money to do these things. And they're just not going to be able to do it. So, yes, Daily Wire is in total collapse. Sorry to hear it. But they didn't adapt. They thought they could continue to be the foundation, because everybody kind of defaults to the Daily Wire. Oh, the Daily Wire report on this, and they did that, and they have some reporters, and they have this girl, Mary Margaret, who she's a very good reporter, but she works for them. I don't know how much longer I don't think they'll completely close. I don't think so. I think they will restructure, they'll get smaller, and the Daily Wire might just be the Ben Shapiro channel. Like with Andrew Klavan. Like, who the hell? They'll be a shell of them former selves. Unless they can find, what they need to do is they have to comb and try to find another Brett Cooper. That's what they got to do. They got to find somebody like that again to bring them back to relevancy. So that's their hope, is to kind of just go low, push Shapiro, don't get rid of Jeremy's chocolates, stop with the films outside of Matt Walsh's stuff. They really need to just kind of restructure. They need to restructure their entire organization and hopefully move on from there. Yeah, I think bankruptcy. Crotchety, what do you think? It's March, probably by the summer. I'm not going to put that one up, G Money, but that's mean. That is mean. Oh, well. I think bankruptcy probably June in the timeline. They'll do it in the summer. You know why they'll do it in the summer? Because the news is dead in the summer. Nobody covers news in the summer. They can go through an entire bankruptcy procedures and all that stuff and restructure, and nobody will be paying attention. And then they can reintroduce themselves in the fall with a new lineup, and that's probably their next move. I would use, this is the point where I would usually shield for myself and be like, hey, if you're looking for a guy, let me know. But I actually will go out on a limb and say, I will never work for the Daily Wire, even if they offered me a job. Sorry. I know they won't, but I just want to get it out there. Other places I would work, but I wouldn't work for the Daily Wire unless they backed up, you know. Yeah, the only way I would work for the Daily Wire is if I was like this.
Daddy, someone said a fire in your car because you took too long, and I got bored. Money, please.
Oh no, there's no
All right, that joke's that. Oh my gosh, where'd I go? StreamYard, what are you doing to me? Oh, look, Memento Mori. Yeah, I was thinking about a shirt for that, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so my camera died again, but I don't think it did. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so next story up, very interesting story for the day. No, I wouldn't work. Well, my problem with the Daily Wire is I will not work for a man that hates my Lord and Savior. Ben Shapiro hates my Lord and Savior. I played the clip for you where he called our Lord and Savior a criminal who got what he deserved. He says it proudly. Personally, I've done a lot of terrible crap in my life, but I will not work for a man that openly hates my Lord and Savior. I'd rather hang out with the 88 people that are watching this show right now, and you good people, than I think it's a sellout. I really do. So it is what it is. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, interesting story that kind of pops up. Just because, why not? Hey, guess what? They found the Ark of the Covenant. I thought we already established this in Indiana Jones, but apparently, it's been found, and the CIA found it of all people. So let's see here. From Brenda Morello, who's an independent journalist. The CIA files claim that the Ark of the Covenant has been found, and it may be in Ethiopia, which apparently the Ethiopians have been claiming for a long time that they have it, but everybody was like, ha, that's funny. Even though Ethiopia was one of the first places to have Christianity long, there's a whole backstory behind, people not realizing that Ethiopia was one of the first African countries to convert to Christianity. Long, great history of Christianity in Ethiopia, but they've been claiming that they have. You've seen it, Mike? Oh, no, Michael, have you seen the Ark of the Covenant? And you didn't tell us? Unbelievable. Yes, I'm going to get to that crotchety. There is some controversy here. Now, in case you didn't know, but I'm pretty sure this audience knows, for ages, the resting place of the chest is said to have housing the 10 Commandments as eluded discovery, because if you open it, it melts your face. Like, we have to take Indiana Jones at his word. Yet the CIA records assert that the Ark of the Covenant has been located. In the 1980s, the CIA explored the abilities of individuals claiming to remotely perceive details about far-off objects, events, or people. If you ever heard of the show, the movie The Men Who Stare at Goats, then you would that was based on this, the Ark of the Covenant in Ethiopia. All right, Michael said that, so I guess I'm gonna have to look this up. I didn't think this was real, but you can't go in there. So is it this place? Michael, let me know. Is it this place here? Nope, that's not it. That's a bunch of stuff. Is it this one? St. Mary's of Zion Church? Is it there? Or is that the one where the Ark of the Covenant is? There's a singular bishop who sits inside the gates. People bring him food. He says he'll stay there till he dies. Oh, you mean like the knight in the Last Crusade? That's pretty interesting. So apparently the Ethiopians have been saying for a long time, no, it's surrounded by gates. Oh, okay. Well, forget that. I don't know. That's a gate right there. Let me know if that's right. Then they send in a new one. Oh, they yes to that one. So apparently they send in a new bishop. So there's a bishop that guards it, which is pretty. No, that's too fancy. Okay. This is not helpful. Stupid thing. Well, that's what I said. I asked for it, but that's in the chapel of the tablets within the Church of Our Lady. No, it's within our Church of Lady of Zion. So it's in there, supposedly. So it's in this place. I think this might be it. Not a pretty church, but it's ancient. Well, ancient churches I think are pretty. But anyway, we're going off topic here. So the CIA said that they found it, and I don't care. I'll kick it out of here. The CIA documents here. I don't know who put in this FICA request. They're like, hey, FICA for the Ark of the Covenant, please. So training target 0209 is the Ark of the Covenant. Attained excellent site contact, doing very well with stage 4 structure. Viewer also exhibits the ability to keep AOL to a minimum. So I guess he doesn't have the dial-up. Have to be careful with editing though. This does not seem to be a problem at this time, just something to watch for. Target is in a container. This container is another container inside of it. The target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver. Target is similar in shape to AOL, a coffin, and is decorated with a serpent, and see sketch. We'll see in the next page. This target is located somewhere in the Middle East, as the language spoken by the individual present seems to be Arabic. Visuals of surrounding buildings indicating the presence of mosque domes. See page 12. Individual is in the area where clothed is virtually all white, had black hair and dark eyes. One figure I honed in on wore a mustache. Target is hidden underground, dark and wet, where all aspects of the location of the target. The purpose of the target is to bring a people together. It has something to do with ceremony, memory, homage, the resurrection. There is an aspect of spirituality, information, lessons, and historical knowledge far beyond what we know. The target is protected by entities, see page 14, and can only be opened now by those who are authorized to do so. This container cannot be opened until the time is deemed correct. Once it is time to open the container, the machine, the mechanics of it, I'm blind as I need my glasses, of the lock system will be found to be fairly simple. Individuals opening the container by prying or striking it are destroyed by the container. Oh, like melting faces and stuff. A protector, though this use of power is unknown. So that's interesting. That's there. Michael is our expert because Michael, you've been there, so you've actually been there. So this is the sketch of the Ark of the Covenant, of the building. Windows, like, was this a doctor who did this? I can't read this thing. Windows and a mosque or dome. Mosque, M-O-S-K, dome. So this is what the person who stares at goats apparently saw. So, right, they would have tried to steal. Hey, they sent in Indiana Jones like twice to get it. So it is what it is. Yeah, so it's very interesting that they said that it's in Ethiopia because the Ethiopians are like, yeah, we have it. So CIA documents from the enigmatic Project Sunstreak hints that the U.S. government has long known about its whereabouts. I don't think anything happens now. That's the it's a building with a thing on top and stuff. So it's great. Oh, we got some interesting stuff here. The problem with remote viewing is you can be viewing the past and think it's the present. I like it. I like what you guys are bringing to this. This is awesome. Comment what you think about this in the comment section down below. By the way, we went from having an absolute atrocious start to this live stream to being over 100 people right now, which thank every single one of you so much for sticking with me and hanging out with me. And I love it. So, and I love StreamYard. I do. I'm sorry. I will never leave you again, StreamYard. I promise. And Magdalene's like, thank you. Anyway, so yes, very interesting. Ark of the Covenant may be found. However, Ryan Wyatt apparently found it in 1992 or 1982. And he found it where? According to him, he found the Ark while digging in an area of the Garden Tomb, just outside of Jerusalem's northern Old City Wall. However, his claims lack credible evidence and have been met with skepticism from archaeological community. Wyatt's discovery has not received widespread coverage due to the absence of substantial evidence and alleged government cover-ups. His claims are detailed in the book called Ark of the Covenant, but the book's presentation and evidence are considered controversial and lacking scholarly support. So yeah, that's interesting. That and apparently that he found it and he has his, if you found the Ark of the Covenant, would you house it here in Cornersville, Tennessee? Yeah, they also saw the Ripper murders right next to it. I found the Ark of the Covenant and it's in this shack that I could barely afford. Come on, man. We all know you're lying. But good, nice try. I'll give you credit on that. Anyway, right, what's really happening? I don't know. Bombings in the Middle East, all kinds of genocide of Gaza and all these other things. So who knows what else is happening? 100 people on X. Hey, look at that. How'd he carry it? That's right. He actually he drafted in some people to help move the Ark of the Covenant back to Tennessee, of all places. He also discovered Noah's Ark, the Red Sea crossing, and the Holy Grail. This guy is a stud. Why haven't we heard about this guy before? Ryan Watt. This guy is like, he's discovered everything. Cool. Good for him. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I don't believe that. This is Rick Cast. I am the aforementioned Rick. You guys are awesome for hanging out with me. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, do the stuff to help the show grow. We're only going to grow because of you, not because of me, because I don't know how to push buttons unless it's laid out for me like this in StreamYard. So, yeah. I'm giving you guys bonus time because you've hung out with me. So if you have any questions or anything like that or anything else, if there's any topics you want me to cover, put them in the chat right now and I'll look them up and we'll talk about them right now. I'll give you guys bonus time because you've been so good to me. So good. So good to me. Anyway, last story of the day, and it goes with not my Avengers hashtag. Last story. So, Avengers Doomsday cast has been announced. And these are all the people that have been confirmed so far to appear in this. I'm calling it, they call it Doomsday. The reason they're calling it Doomsday is simple. They're calling it Doomsday because if this film fails, it will be the end of the MCU. If this film fails, that's it. They will not be able to recover from it. And it's actually very interesting that they are leaning heavily into this, the newer cast, and so so let's see. Chris Hemsworth is like the only original Avenger that's in it besides Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr., he's getting paid like $20 million to come back. I don't think Chris Hemsworth is, but he's coming back. Vanessa Kirby, who's going to be in the Fantastic Four. We haven't even seen her yet. She's there. Anthony Mackie from the flop Captain America and Brave New World is going to be there. Sebastian Stan, who's the Winter Soldier. Letitia Wright, your favorite female Black Panther. She's going to be in this. Paul Rudd, because Paul Rudd is cool. He'll just be in whatever you want him to be. This guy, you ever seen the show Falcon and the Winter Soldier or the Thunderbolts? No, you haven't. Neither has half the country. Well, he's going to be in it. Tanique Hutter Mejia. He was Namor in Black Panther. So he'll be back. Ibran Mas Baccarat from the Fantastic Four, Simu Liu from the bomb Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Who Cares, Florence Pugh, who apparently needs to be in everything, and she needs to be naked because I don't know why, because we haven't suffered enough as a country, but she's going to be in it. Kelsey Grammer, because I love Kelsey Grammer. He's a conservative. I'm good with him, so anytime he gets work, I'm happy. He'll be back as Beast in the X-Men. Louis Pullman, you haven't seen him, but he was in Top Gun Maverick as Bob. So he's also the president of Independence Day, that's his kid, so he's fine. Danny Ramirez, never heard of him, but he was in the flop Brave New World. Joseph Quinn from the not released Fantastic Four. David Harbour, the communist who was in Black Widow and the Thunderbolts, he's going to be in that. Wilson Duke, you ever heard of him? He's M'Baku. He's the guy he's the last like dude in the Black Panther universe. He'll be in it. Hannah John Cameron, she was in the second Ant-Man movie, and she's going to be in the Thunderbolts. She'll be in there. Tom Hiddleston will be back because good for you, Tom Hiddleston. Take that paycheck. Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Alan Cumming, Rebecca Romaine, James Marsden. What do these people have in common? They're all from the old X-Men movies. So now they're going to take the old X-Men movies and they're going to shove them into the MCU, and they're going to just take, because all they have are toys now. They're just banging them together, hoping something works because they have no creative ability anymore. It was phases 1 through 3, and then that was it. They got nothing left. They don't know what to do because they're just creatively bankrupt. So they're going to roll out literally Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, Alan Cumming, who, just in case you didn't know this, fast fact, Nightcrawler is a Catholic in the comics, so good for that. They'll probably snuff that out like they've done in the Daredevil show because it's Disney, and anytime you put a cross near them, they burn. Channing Tatum, who made one appearance in the Deadpool movie, he'll be there. Pedro Pascal, because I think there's a clause in Pedro Pascal's contract that he must be in every single friggin' show that's ever been created. He'll be in there as Mr. Fantastic. And then finally, Robert Downey Jr., who's getting paid $20 million to be there. I don't begrudge Robert Downey Jr. If you paid me $20 million to go back to a sinking ship, I'll show up for $20 million. Hell yeah. So what does this mean? This means that they are so creatively, and these are some of the people that are in there. There's Vanessa Kirby, there's Sebastian Stan, there's your female Black Panther. All of these people are coming back, and nobody is excited about this. And it is a terrible crossover. It's an absolutely terrible idea, but it just shows how desperate Marvel is. Marvel had the ability after Endgame. They could have taken a couple years off, restructured, come up with a new plan, and come back. What was Endgame in 2019? They could have come back. They could have taken all of COVID off and come back in 2022 with a new plan and just killed it. But money demands that they continue to just put out this crap and make it, somehow worth it, which they tried to do. And now they're stuck in this position where they got to bring back people from 2003 or 2006, I think was the last X-Men movie with most of these guys, unless you count Days of Future Past, coming in. But it is a sad state of affairs. It is a sad state of affairs that they have to wheel these people back in because there's no creativity left. And I for one, unless I have to review it for Rick Reviews, I'll review it for that, but I will not go see this film willingly. And it may do well the first weekend, but I have a feeling it's going to perform like all the other ones. It's just going to drop because there's nothing here. There's no lead up either. They're just like, oh, look at all these people. Yay, go see the movie because, you like Robert Downey Jr., you like Ian McKellen, you like Patrick Stewart, you liked Black Panther. Didn't you? You like Simu Liu. Nobody else does, but you like him, right? From Shang-Chi. Hasn't been in anything else, but he's in that. It's like, okay, no, I don't care. I don't like it. I don't want to like it. So this is an absolute disgrace. It's not a disgrace. It just looks like trash. And I, for one, am going to be anticipating that it bombs. All right, folks, I got one more story for you. We're going to end this on a funny note. I used to do this on my show back when I was working on radio. I used to call it "You Got to Be Kidding Me," but I'm going to call it "What Did They Have It in the Simpsons?" on the lighter side. So let's just get to it here. From Ground News: Otter escapes from Wisconsin Zoo enclosure amid a snowstorm. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the bandit as we speak. It's coming. It's coming. It's on its way. It's processing. So a pair of North American river otters, Louie and Ophelia, escaped from their enclosure during a snowstorm at the New Zoo Adventure Park in Green Bay. And so these otters, who apparently didn't care about the cold, decided that this would be a good time to go out. What else do we have? The zoo reported that the otters escaped through a small breach in a buried fence. Security camera footage shows Louie and Ophelia playing in the snow after they left their enclosure because they're just adorable. There they go. They're out. They're off on the run. Look at them. They're just so adorable. Aren't they just the cutest thing? Dennis Leary, I know he's a profane comedian, but Dennis Leary has a hysterical commentary on otters and how they're able to survive because they're just adorable, right? They have, they're just so cute. Oh, good for them. Run free, little otters. They ought to be in jail. You can't hold them. You can contain them. Oh my goodness, that was fantastic. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, folks. Yeah, them mudsliding. That's right. That's right. You can't hold them, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot. You can only hope to contain them. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so thankful for every single one of you hanging out with me here. We were able to get up to 130 people watching, despite the fact that this thing was a train wreck from the beginning. I am so grateful here on Rickcast. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. If you're on X, repost the stream so more people can watch it and enjoy it as well. I will talk to you tomorrow from the safety and beauty of StreamYard. Tomorrow on Rickcast, that'll be the 30th. That'll be Thursday, the 27th of March, 2025. God bless, ladies and gentlemen. And until that day comes, free Dexter Taylor.